Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, what we're going to talk about on this episode is something that a user sent me out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, this is one of the fiancés of one of the victims of the tragedy that occurred there last week. This is incredibly important because it addresses something bigger than just gun control or gun rights. It hits to something that, in my own personal opinion, we need a lot more of in this country. He's asking for everyone to stop politicizing tragedy and just heal about what has occurred. And I think that is incredibly important. That's why we're going to cover what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, Established Titles, who made this possible, and then we're going to dive in, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field below. The Established Title Packs give you 1 square foot of dedicated land in an estate in Edelston, Scotland, along with a certified crest like you see right here. This is based on a historic Scottish custom which will allow landowners to become lords or ladies, and if you act now, you can be in the LOA little plot so we can have our own little fiefdom. This is a fun and novel way to preserve the woodlands of Scotland. They work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for Our Future, to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your plane tickets and also on your credit cards. This makes a great last-minute gift, and they have couple packs which you can get adjoining plots of land together. In order to give the ultimate conversation piece for that special someone, Established Titles is running a massive sale right now. Plus, if you use the code Langley, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/Langley to support the channel now. Alright, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned, this is something that was user submitted. So if you have something that's breaking, if you have some inside scoop, if you think there's something that's gun related and two-way related, passing the blessing on to the next generation, send it to live@langleyfirearmsacademy.com and I will take a look at it. That is the tip line. But enough of the setup. Let's get into this. I've got to show you what this fiancé is saying. To be honest, I think a lot more people need to hear this. Let's dive in. Quote, "I don't want to be a pawn. Fiancé of Raleigh mass situation victim feels city-sponsored event was too politically charged." Now he's talking about an event that he attended that was meant to honor the victims of the tragedy, not the political whims of the political institutions or players there. Rob Steele is the fiancé of late Mary Marshall, one of the Raleigh mass situation victims. Steele said he feels lied to and that the Sunday's Raleigh Healing Together event carried too much of a political tone. Now, this article came out today. The event was on Sunday. Raleigh, North Carolina, just to jog your memory, this is where the tragedy happened with the walking, jogging path. You guys can look into it. I just can't cover it too much right now. The fiancé of one of Raleigh's mass situation victims told WRAL News that he feels used after participation in Sunday's city-sponsored Raleigh Healing Together event. Now, one of the reasons that he feels used is because the sitting governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, got up and made a political gun control speech. We're going to get into that in 1 second. But he's going to walk you through this, and I think this is very on point what he says. Rob Steele, who was set to marry Mary Marshall this upcoming Saturday, said he feels lied to and that the event carried too much of a political tone in his opinion. He said he's apprehensive to engage in future events. Quote, "I'm not naive," Steele said. "I knew there would be some political conversation, but the event was supposed to be about the victims and about healing. How many events, how many services, how many candlelight vigils do you know of that have been politicized? How many tragedies have been politicized for political gain of a certain party or a certain desire of entities that want change in this country in a certain area around our rights? How many times have you seen that healing be neglected in order to push the political agenda and the narrative because there's never a crisis to waste?" Just saying, let's keep going. I'm trying to dance the line between honoring what he's saying, honoring the memory, but also pointing out that we need more healing. Quote, "It wasn't supposed to be a majority gun control and gun violence conversation." I can completely relate to that. On Sunday, state leaders, local leaders, and hundreds of community members gathered in front of the Raleigh Memorial Auditorium to honor the 5 people who lost their lives and 2 people injured on October 13th mass situation in that neighborhood that happened in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was all over the news, you guys I'm sure are aware. Steele spoke on Sunday, but he and Marshall's family left the event feeling that there was too much focus on the political and too little focus on the victims and who there were. That is 100% correct. We need more focus on the victims, more focus on healing, and more focus of the community healing around what's occurred, rather than the political whims and agendas of national parties, whether they be Republican or Democrat or independent or liberal. I don't care. The point is the healing is necessary, and that's what he's hitting on. And this is important to see it. Steele praised the speech given by Raleigh Mayor Marianne Baldwin. Quote, "I thought her speech was good, to be honest, and appropriate for the event. But this is where it goes off the rails when Roy Cooper, the Democratic governor, steps in. However, Steele feels that Governor Roy Cooper was focused more on stricter gun laws. Quote, we should be shocked into action, Cooper said at Sunday's event. Quote, we need wisdom to find solutions. Now, we've seen multiple times politicians that are in this exact same scenario step up and try to make political hay and get their name out there on a national stage to further their own political ambitions and their gun control ambitions. We've seen that time and time and time again. You can almost run a clock by it. But Steele, the fiancé, is actually saying something very important. That's not appropriate. Stop it. And I completely agree with that sentiment, by the way. Steele said he was disappointed by comments made by Gerald Givens, president of the Raleigh Apex NAACP. Quote, you can join the Raleigh Apex NAACP, Givens said on Saturday. If just 100 of you join our branch today, we will become the largest in the state. When he heard that, Steele said, quote, I got sick to my stomach. I felt like I had been used. First of all, that's pretty gross. I'm not saying anything because I wasn't there, but from his description, that's pretty gross. The second thing here is, wouldn't you feel the exact same way? Wouldn't you feel used if political national organizations were using the tragedy that is occurring and the pain that the community is feeling for their own political, private, or personal or financial gain? That's where this goes off the rails. We ignore the healing, jump right to the action. That's a problem. I got one more thing for you, and again, I can't wait to hear what you guys think on this one. Steele said his late fiancée was not a gun control advocate. Quote, I do not want to be a pawn, Steele said. I don't want Mary's memory to be a pawn. How many people, honestly, how many of you feel sometimes like you're used as a pawn by either Republicans or Democrats or whomever is looking to gain some sort of advantage over the system that they're in? The more that we focus inward, the more that we pull the strength from ourselves and become united, the more that they have a harder time doing all of these types of things because they will not be allowed in public discourse. And that is where we need to get to. That's what I got for you. I thought it was something that was appropriate. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.